my price move at all. However, that leads me to another question. I'm sorry I didn't write down who put this in there. Will the economy come grinding to a halt? This is in reference to the Lindsey William interview that's been out now for about 24 hours. Will the economy come grinding to a halt when we see $200 a barrel oil, if his prediction is correct, and there's no reason to believe that it isn't correct, because not only is his prediction has been right in the past, if you look at geopolitical events going on right now around the world, a $200 a barrel oil could happen tomorrow morning. I mean, if we decided to start something with Iran, and the Gulf region is threatened at all, any more than it already is, we could see $200 a barrel oil instantly. And my opinion, I'll give my opinion first on this one. The business I'm in, our company does about $80 million a year. Every single penny of it, every single dime of it goes on the back of a semi-truck and delivers out to somewhere in a four-state area. If diesel, if oil goes to $200 a barrel, you're going to see, when it went to $150 a barrel, it almost broke a lot of businesses. I mean, suddenly, instead of being able to run with 20,000 pounds on a semi because the fuel prices are down, suddenly you have to have a full load. And if you don't have a full load, you don't go. If you do go, you lose money. So, I mean, yes, it could absolutely grind this economy, what's left of it, to a complete halt, because there's nothing that you buy that isn't affected by the price of fuel. Everything you buy in your grocery store on average travels 1,500 miles before it gets to that grocery store. So to whoever posted that question, I think that would be absolutely detrimental to this already fading economy. And I'll throw that to you first, Pete, because you are in a state that represents a third of our whole national economy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's instantly hyperinflationary on everything. I mean, you saw it happening, like you said, back in 2007, and everything started costing more. Your groceries, your goods, anything that needs to be transported, your electricity as well. And it also causes, at the same time, a major drop in consumption because people just don't go anywhere. I remember when that happened, I was commuting actually a long way in the Bay Area, and traffic jams are very common every day. All of a sudden, traffic jams went away. It was amazing, Charlie. It was like literally in the course of a couple months when we hit that peak, people just stopped driving. The local public transportation system was jammed. They had to double, triple the loads, on the BART trains and stuff like that because people literally just stopped driving, and it destroys commerce and makes the cost of everything high. So, yeah, I think that would be a trigger for a very, very rapid collapse, within the course of months.
Yeah, and Joe, did you have anything that you want to say on that?
Yeah, I do. So they failed on the carbon tax. Mm-hmm. So what they've introduced is a transaction tax, which is
HR 4646.
That's correct, which is a tax on anything that you purchase, energy, food, anything that you purchase.
Okay, that's a new one on me. I know HR 4646 is designed to be a 1% tax on any financial transaction with a financial institution. So, like, if you deposit money, it's 1%. If you withdraw, it's 1%. If you write a check, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize that I haven't read the full bill.
No,
I didn't realize
it's a transaction tax. So, in other words, if you take money out of your bank, that's 1%. If you spend $100 at Whole Foods, that's 1%. If you sell anything at a garage sale or whatever it is you sell, that's 1%. If you pay somebody some money for a good you purchase, that's 1%. It's 1% on everything.
It's basically a 1% sales tax, and isn't it? Doesn't it sound nice? We can have 1% transaction tax, and it'll be nothing but paying down the deficit, and 1% everybody can handle that. But that's the exact same language that was used in 1914, a year after the Federal Reserve Act was fraudulently passed, in my opinion, and we had a national tax on income. It started with a maximum, I believe, of 7% on the richest, 2% on the middle class, and now we're arguing about, are we going to let the middle class taxes go to 35%, or are we going to do the right thing by the American people and keep it at 30%? It's all ludicrous. If this 1% is going to be nothing more than another bank bailout, plain and simple, another way to pay the interest on the fraudulently created Federal Reserve notes that we trade around and pretend that they hold wealth. So, I can see. Go ahead, Joe.
Can I make a statement?
Sure.
The income tax. What is the income tax? Because I want to put it into perspective for people.
We got about a minute left, so go ahead.
You and me and everyone who is listening to this program is the chattel or the security of the debt.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, that's
you and me are actually the chattel or the property of the debt that the government has spent.
Yes, I agree. Pete, let me ask you, Joe. I don't mean to cut you off with about 45 seconds left. Let me ask Pete if he had any final thoughts, or if he can maybe give us an idea on when we can see some more PD Lumina video action.
Yeah, I'm just kind of laying low until we get some big news. I mean, last time I spoke to you, I think the dollar index was about 15% higher than it is today. And I'm looking for something sharp to happen before the end of the year. I predicted that probably about 5 months ago. So, I don't know. We will see.
I agree. I think we are 2 weeks away from something really big happening. My prediction is within 2 to 3 weeks after this election, you're going to see the talk turn to nothing but austerity. And keep in mind, austerity equals paying off the debt of the banksters. Joe from Philly, Joe, former employee of Freddie Mac, thank you very much for your contribution this week. I appreciate it greatly. Pete from PD Lumina on YouTube, check him out if you haven't already. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and thanks everybody in the chat room. I greatly appreciate your involvement. I greatly appreciate you guys supporting the people who support this program. Thank you all very much. Please stay tuned because Jeff's up next. We'll see you back here Monday.